Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here at Rake and Profit, and in today's video, I want to share with you 7 items that I purchased from eBay and flipped on Amazon FBA for a profit. If you take a look on the screen, you'll see that I sold over $50,000 worth of products on Amazon in the last 30 days. Big shout out to GoToLister. If you use GoToLister to be able to list your products, they also have profit analytics where you can put in your buy cost and it'll break down all your fees, expenses, overhead, and you'll be able to see your exact profit that you made. So in the last 30 days, I sold over $50,000 worth of products and I sold 459 items. My average sales price is $109. And what we all want to talk about and what's the most important is how much profit did I make. Take a look right here. I made just shy of $16,000 profit from the $50,000 in sales. So what I'm going to share with you in today's video is going to be very, very helpful if you're looking to make more money on Amazon. I'm going to break down 7 items. I'm going to share with you the exact items, what I paid, how much profit I made, in hopes for you to be able to go out there, source these items, and flip them for a profit on Amazon. Now, before we get into today's video, I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of our video, SellerAmp. SellerAmp is a tool that I use every single day before I purchase an item to sell on Amazon FBA. SellerAmp is a product research tool. It helps you analyze deals. There's a ton of beneficial things that you can do with SellerAmp. It's a Chrome extension. I use it to analyze and calculate my ROI, my profit before I purchase an item. But again, there's so many things that you can do with SellerAmp. I've made a ton of videos about it on my channel. And just so you know, for every item that I share with you that I purchased on eBay and flipped on Amazon, I'll be using a screenshot from SellerAmp that again tells me how much profit I made, how much ROI I made. You'll be able to see my buy cost, a whole bunch of interesting information. So thank you so much, SellerAmp, and let's get into today's video. All right, so let's get into the video and let's break down the 7 products that I bought on eBay and sold on Amazon FBA for a profit so you can do the same. All right, flip number 1 was a DVD. You know that I love flipping DVDs. Matter of fact, smash that like button if you like to flip DVDs as well. Matter of fact, when I started flipping items from eBay to Amazon, I used to only flip DVDs. I think it was 2021 I flipped, or 2022, I flipped, I think 8,000 DVDs from eBay to Amazon, and I sell mostly all new items, especially DVDs, new DVDs. You can flip used, but it just takes a bit more work to inspect. They could be damaged. You typically want to test your items out if they're used. So I flip mostly all new, but you can take a look right here. I purchased this item for $17.87 on eBay. It was delivered on February 4th, and then I sold this just recently within the last week or so for $45.99. If you take a look in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the screenshot from SellerAmp. So I paid $17.87, sold it for $45.99. And after fees, after expenses, I made $14 profit on this one DVD for a 78% ROI. I can't tell you enough how much I love flipping items for 50, 60, 70% ROI. Now, it's not the same as going to a thrift store, but I can source items all day long on eBay and flip them on Amazon. And if you're wondering how I am sourcing these items, I am using Replen Catcher. I've got a link right here, but that's how we purchase all of our items from eBay to flip on Amazon. But look how beneficial this screenshot is from SellerAmp. You can see, number 1, yes, I'm eligible to sell it. It's a 19,000 rank, 3 sales per month. And typically when it comes to sales rank for DVDs, I'm usually staying under 125,000 rank normally. Also, you can see the max buy cost. That's the max I could pay for the item, which again, I buy on eBay, to hit a minimum of a 50% ROI, which is pretty much my floor now. This one right here, I paid less. So it was a 78% ROI, $14 profit. I'll tell you right now, I love flipping DVDs from eBay to Amazon. Flip number 2. Again, purchase this item using Replen Catcher on eBay. I purchased this late February. So this took about a month, less than a month. Yeah, February, March. No, yeah, a month and a couple of weeks. For some reason, I'm like thinking I'm in March, but we're at the end of April. Paid $92 for this Star Wars Furby. This is like one of those little electronic toys. Paid $92, sold it for $180. And I want to tell you guys a secret. I don't want you to tell anybody. I want you to keep this between you and I. Okay, so this is a replen. This is an item that I flip like 10 plus times. I love flipping this. Now, you will have to get ungated for Star Wars if you're not ungated for Star Wars. But, you could get like a cheap Lego Star Wars keychain for a couple of bucks. Will require an investment to get ungated in 2025 as the rules have changed now. And instead of just buying 10, now they typically want 100. But I'm telling you, it's well worth it to spend the money to get ungated for Lego and Star Wars. And you can resell this stuff as well. Even if you lose a couple of bucks, I mean, it's so worth it. But this is an item that most people would think like isn't that sexy, isn't very like good to flip because it only has 2 sales per month. As you can see with SellerAmp, 316,000 rank. Most, wholesalers, traditional OA people are going to stay away from this. But as an E to A flipper, I buy this stuff all the time. Why? Because I'm only buying one quantity at a time. And once it sells, then I'll just replenish it again. But for a 58% ROI, $53 profit, I mean, why would I not flip this item? I flipped it so many times. These are the types of deals that you could find using Replen Catcher and the types of deals that I flip all the time from eBay to Amazon. So this is another cool item. Again, it was brand new. And yes, you will have to get ungated for Star Wars, but just a great flip. $53.99 profit. Bada bing, bada boom. The profits are coming soon. All right, let's move on to flip number 3. So if you take a look right here, you can see that I paid $102.55, and I made sure that we put receipts for everything on the screen. So if you're thinking to yourself, raking profit, he is faking it, he ain't making it. If you start calling me faking profit over raking profit, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw these receipts in your face. I always got to do it because people are like, he doesn't sell, he doesn't flip. It's like, what are you talking about? I am in the trenches every single day. Look at this. I paid $102.55. You can see I bought it on February 22nd. And in the top right-hand corner, you can see my actual Amazon order. Like you can literally see the receipt. I paid $102.55, sold for $199.99. And this is a brand new vintage sports, like little kind of AM FM radio type of thing. I flip these things all day long, brand new sealed. Only 3 sales per month. You can see SellerAmp shows it's 173,000 rank. Not something that's very popular, but this is how you flip items from eBay to Amazon. You fly under the radar. You don't start flipping Sony items that are flipping 100, 200, 300 times a month. Without invoices, you're going to get your account suspended like that. So fly under the radar. Yes, it doesn't sell very often, but guess what? There's typically only 1, 2, 3, 4 sellers on the listing. And if it's selling 2, 3, 4 times a month, these items are going to flip within 30 to 60 days. I don't buy stuff to sit for 5, 6, 7, 8 months. 80, 90% of my items are selling within, I would say, 2 months or less. Like seriously, like my stuff moves. Even though it doesn't look very popular and it isn't very popular, it still has a demand and there's not a lot of sellers. It's hard to come across. And I flip these things all the time, buy one quantity. Once it sells, I replenish it. But look, $76 profit. And I'm not just picking out the cream of the crop. I flip these types of items all the time. If you guys watch any of my videos, I'm starting to share videos now of my actual profits, my actual items I'm flipping. I'm sharing my go-to lister reports that shows like what I bought it for, what I sold it for, the profit. There are so many of these deals to be taken, and they're not as risky as you would think. I know some people say, and a lot of people say, like, you're going to get your account suspended. It's so risky. That's a bunch of phony baloney. People were telling me that 4 years ago. Now, 30,000 products flipped, $2 million in revenue, 500,000 in profit over the last 4 years, approximately. Like, come on now. Like, if you take a look, I'll put a screenshot of all the zeros on my account health page. No IP complaints, no intellectual issues, intellectual property issues, no freaking nothing. Like I've had issues in the past, but guess what? All because there's risks and challenges doesn't mean you can't overcome them. So yeah, just, got to share with you. The money is out there, but the only question is, are you going to take it? All right, flip number 4. Okay. Now this is Guessatures. This is a little board game. I flipped this thing like 50 times in the last 4 years. The prices do fluctuate. This is from 2008. A little bit slower of a seller, 418,000 rank in the toy category. 2 sales over the last month. Purchases February 18th. So this took, about a month and a half to sell. I mean, maybe a month and a week, depending on how long it took to get checked in. But you can see I purchased this on eBay for $22.05. If you take a look in the top right-hand corner, I sold it for $50.23. Sourced this with Replen Catcher, and SellerAmp is going to break down all the information. Paid $22.05, sold it for $50.23. After fees, expenses, everything, $13.25 profit. on this. Now, one really great thing that you should know about SellerAmp is you can actually go into the settings and you can add miscellaneous fees and expenses if you want to be able to calculate your profit more accurately. So I used to put in $2 miscellaneous fee, and then another $2 fee for my prep center and for my sourcing, like for the cost of my virtual assistants. Now it's a little bit higher than that, but just want to share that with you. Like if you have additional expenses, like a prep center, I use Little Owl Prep, costs about $2, per item for them to prep it and ship it. And, I have 4 virtual assistants. You could bake that in to get very, very accurate results. So another great flip, 60% ROI on this board game. I love flipping toys. You'll see, in a lot of my videos, I flip a lot of toys. I also love DVDs. I love electronics, tools, office supplies. I mean, it's just, the opportunities are literally unlimited. You just have to make sure you fly under the radar and make sure you're ungated. But yeah, another flip right here. Nothing super sexy, $13.25. Now, here's another item. I believe I shared this in a previous video, but I want to share it again because I love flipping these handheld games, okay? Especially Radica games. I'm not sure, I don't think Radica makes this one. I know it's by Scrabble, but you'll find like a lot of Radica handheld games that sell for 100, 150, 200 bucks, like poker games, solitaire games, even like fishing games, like really old ones from the 90s and early 2000s. Those things sell like hotcakes. Leave a comment down below. Just type in the freaking word Radica if you know. If you know, you know. I mean, my mom, she just found a bunch of Radica stuff at the thrift store. I think I made a video about it, but I love Radica stuff. New sealed, I mean, that stuff can go for 100, 200. I flipped Radica stuff for over $300, $400 in the past. Just go look up the sold listings on eBay, go on Amazon. There's a lot of money to be made. But this one right here, right in the sweet spot, less than 200,000 rank. According to SellerAmp, 159,000 rank, which is top 3% bestseller rank. Only 7 sales per month, paid $25.70, flipped it for $85. This was a killer flip. 152% ROI, $39 profit. I mean, SellerAmp said the most I could pay for it is $43. I paid $25. And if you're wondering how I get some of these killer deals, not only am I using Replen Catcher to source deals directly, like, say an item comes up for 25 bucks, I buy it. But more often than not, these items might come up, at 30, 35, 40, 50 bucks on eBay. But on eBay, you can make best offers. So I make a lot of best offers. I don't lowball the crap out of eBay sellers, but if, an item's for sale for 40, sometimes I'll offer 35 or 30 or sometimes 25. And if you've ever sold on eBay, you know that sometimes your stuff doesn't sell. You could have stuff that's really popular that has a history of sold listings and it just doesn't sell. Sometimes eBay just doesn't give you love. So if you're picking items up for $1 or $2 and you got it listed for 50 and someone offers you 40, there's a good chance you're going to accept it. It's a win-win in my eyes. Yeah, I'm going to flip it for 80 bucks on Amazon, but I'm running a business too. Like I need to be able to make money. So I make money. The eBay seller makes money. It's a win-win. I mean, last year alone on eBay, I spent, I think, close to $300,000 on eBay. So eBay sellers should freaking love me. They should kiss me. All right, so enough of the kissing. Let's get into flip number 6. Now, this is an item that probably a lot of folks are going to be like, what the heck? Like you're flipping phones, like electronics. Like this is a bit more of an advanced item, I would say. Not that it's anything crazy, but I purchased 6 of these business media phone systems. Now, these are like for conference calls, and these will be at like businesses and offices and different things like that, like sitting in the middle of the table and having conference calls and whatnot. I bought 6 of them for $210. So if you divide 210 by 6, you'll get the price of $35 per unit. So I don't always buy like, electronics 5, 6, or 7, but I sell a lot of these things. So we got a killer deal. We picked it up. We flipped this one for $79.99. Actually, matter of fact, we sold 2 of them. If you take a look at the Amazon order, we sold 2 of them for $159.98. So that's about $79.99 per unit. $30 profit, 86% ROI, brand new sealed, in the box. Great item to flip right here. Definitely be on the lookout for Polycom if you are, flipping, office supplies and stuff. I love the office supplies category. Polycom, awesome item. I'll keep you guys posted, how many of these sell. I bought these in March, so I'm not sure off the top of the head how many I have flipped in total, but we typically only buy multiple quantities if we get rid of everything within like a couple of months, maybe 3 months max if we bought 6. And, obviously it depends on the ROI, but 86% ROI, bada bing, bada boom, the profits are coming soon. All right, and last but not least is a DVD. Again, you guys know that I love flipping DVDs. I think I've shared this one in the past before. If you're a part of my book selling Facebook group, I believe I put a screenshot in the group. We bought this earlier on in the year, January 1st, right on New Year's Day. We paid $30 for this, sold it for $69.99. And as you can see with SellerAmp, which I do the same thing every single time, like that I'm doing with you on the video. Before we buy an item, say we find this on eBay for 30 bucks, we go to SellerAmp, the Chrome extension pops up on the sales page. We put in our cost, we put in our selling price of what we think we could sell it for. So we analyze, who's on the listing, how many people are on the listing. We might look at the buy box statistics, the pricing history. We determine like a conservative price. We put it in for this one, $69.99. And then SellerAmp will break down how much profit we're going to make. At the end of the day, we made $21 profit on this, 70% ROI. And nothing sexy, 85,000 rank in the movies category, only 4 sales per month, but it just goes to prove there's so much money to be made out there. And these are the types of items, people are going to ignore this stuff. They're going to look at it and be like, 4 sales a month, that'll never sell. But I'm telling you guys, I've sold, I don't even know how many DVDs I've sold. It's probably well over 10,000. If I sold 8,000 in 1 year and that was 3 years ago, I probably sold well over 10,000 DVDs. Now I'm much more diversified now. I flip a lot of different categories, but there's a lot of money to be made as long as you're willing to, 1, analyze deals online, 2, spend a bit more money, 3, be willing to work out some of the kinks. Like sometimes eBay sellers will send you stuff that's damaged. You might have to return it. Sometimes prices could tank, but that's up to us to do the research. Look at the offer count, right? Make sure the offer count isn't going going up really, really high. Because a lot of times if the offer count is spiking, the price could come down, right? You got to make sure it's not a counterfeit, right? Stay off of items where the brand's on the listing or there's sharp keeper drop-offs or IP alert might be popping, right? There's things you can do, but it's just a different game. Like if you're going to thrift versus doing E to A, you just got to be willing to play a different game. You've got to spend the upfront time to make sure you're making the right decisions because you're going to be spending a lot more money on inventory. But I'm telling you, once you learn this system and when it pays off big time. Just like I shared earlier on in the video, almost $16,000 in profit just in the last 30 days. And my sales are down right now. It's not the slow season, but usually the first 3-4 months of the year, maybe even the first 6 months, I'm not spending as much versus the second half of the year. Really, I would say months like June, July, August, I'm really ramping up my spend, getting ready for Q4. So, it's just, again, I'm not sharing this to brag or boast, but just sharing with you guys what I'm doing. There's a lot of opportunity out there. And for me, again, I source all my deals with Replen Catcher. I analyze all the deals with SellerAmp. And then on the back end, I've got GoToLister to list items, even though I use a prep center now, but I use it mostly for profit analytics to be able to know how much profit am I actually making. So if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. I appreciate you guys so much watching these videos for the folks who are liking and commenting. Also, be sure to check the link down below. If you want to learn more about eBay to Amazon flipping, I have a free Facebook group. It used to be paid, but I've opened it up to the public. It's the eBay to Amazon Masterclass Facebook group. So if you want to join and interact with over 1,200 other members who are doing this as well, join it down below. If you guys want to start sourcing deals from eBay to Amazon, check out Replen Catcher. Use the code REPLEN10 to save 10%. And of course, if you guys want to start analyzing your deals the right way to make sure you're buying stuff that's profitable, SellerAmp is the way to go. I'm not just sharing this because they're the sponsor. We use this every single day, literally every single day. We're probably their top user. Probably not their top user. They have thousands of users, I'm sure, but we love them. And just thanks SellerAmp. Thanks everybody for watching. Links down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.